The First Balkan War allowed the Balkan League to gain control of nearly the whole region of Romania. Then in the 1913 Treaty of London, the major European powers recognized the independence of Albania and strong-armed Serbia, Greece, and Montenegro to withdraw their forces from conquered territories in Albania. Before the war, Serbia and Bulgaria had entered into a secret agreement to partition Romania between them, in particular the Macedonian region. No similar partition agreement was made with Greece, as the Greek army was not highly regarded and thought to be incapable of gaining much territory. However, during the war, Bulgaria had allocated much of its military resources in Eastern Thrace, leaving a much smaller force to attack Macedonia. As a result, Bulgaria's allies, Serbia and Greece, both of whom faced much less opposition, gained considerable territory during the war. Serbian forces advanced into southern Macedonia past the so-called disputed zone, which was part of the Serbian-Bulgarian pre-war partition agreement. The Greek army also performed surprisingly well and gained a large section of southern Macedonia and part of western Thrace. The Serbian-Bulgarian agreement had stipulated that Serbia could expand freely into Albania, while Bulgaria could take southern Macedonia. Because of this, Bulgaria applied pressure on Serbia to withdraw to the north of Monastir in compliance with their pre-war agreement. Serbia refused, as it had already been forced to relinquish northern Albania, while Bulgaria had ceded much less in eastern Thrace in the area of the Inos-Media line. Serbia insisted that new negotiations be made on partitioning Macedonia, which Bulgaria rejected. Bulgaria also applied pressure on Greece to withdraw from western Thrace and southern Macedonia, in particular from Thessalonica. The Greeks offered a compromise arrangement, which the Bulgarians rejected. Then, as Bulgaria continued its war posturing and increased its forces in the disputed areas, on June 1, 1913, Serbia and Greece secretly signed a mutual defense treaty aimed at countering a potential Bulgarian attack. The agreement also fixed a common border between Serbia and Greece. Consequently, small-scale fighting began to break out between Serbians and Bulgarians, whose forces were situated next to each other following the recently concluded First Balkan War. A small Montenegrin contingent also joined ranks with Serbian forces. Meanwhile, Russia was alarmed at the impending breakup of the Serbian-Bulgarian alliance, as this threatened power ambitions in the Balkan region. Tsar Nicholas, the Russian monarch, offered to mediate, even sending a personal letter to both the Serbian and Bulgarian kings. However, Bulgaria was unyielding, forcing the Russian government to cancel the Russo-Bulgarian Treaty of 1902. On June 29, 1913, less than a month after the First Balkan War had ended, Bulgaria, without declaring war, launched simultaneous attacks on Serbian and Greek forces in Macedonia. Bulgaria had massed most of its forces to the west, intending to first defeat the Serbians. However, the Bulgarian offensive aimed at southern Macedonia was lackluster and poorly executed, and easily repulsed. The Serbians then counterattacked, forcing the Bulgarians to a full retreat by July 8th. Bulgarian forces attacked again, this time further north, and made some gains, but the arrival of Serbian reinforcements stabilized the front. In the south, Serbian forces continued their counteroffensive, but which failed to make progress, and the Bulgarian-Serbian front from north to south soon settled into a stalemate. Simultaneous with commencing hostilities against Serbia in the north, Bulgarian forces launched an attack on the Greek army in eastern Macedonia, which was repulsed. Greek forces then launched a general counteroffensive against the undermanned Bulgarians. Within 2 weeks, the Greeks had seized possession of eastern Macedonia and western Thrace. The Bulgarians retreated to southern Bulgaria, where pursuing Greek forces fell into a prepared trap. Subsequently, the fighting here also became inconclusive. Bulgaria's military situation became desperate when on July 10, 1913, Romania declared war on Bulgaria. Romania's entry into the war was prompted by its interest to acquire Silistra, located in the Bulgarian northeast. In previous negotiations, Bulgaria had agreed to cede Silistra to Romania, but as yet had failed to fulfill its promise. Romania was fully aware of Bulgaria's military predicament, as nearly the whole Bulgarian army was deployed in Macedonia and Thrace to confront the Serbians and Greeks. On July 15, 1913, Romanian forces crossed the border into virtually undefended northern Bulgaria, advancing along 3 fronts. Within 2 weeks, the Romanians had seized Silistra and Southern Dobruja, and by July 23, after meeting only slight opposition, were at the periphery of the Bulgarian capital, Sofia. If Bulgaria's military situation was not hopeless enough, the Ottoman Empire, queuing on Romania's action, entered the war against Bulgaria, in this context to recapture Ottoman territory that had been lost in the First Balkan War. On July 20, 1913, a massive Ottoman force swept into Eastern Thrace. An Ottoman attempt to invade Bulgaria itself was aborted when Russia threatened to invade Ottoman territories in the Caucasus. With Serbian and Greek forces starting a new offensive on July 22, 1913, Bulgaria sued for peace. Fighting then soon stopped in all sectors. The belligerents, with the exception of the Ottoman Empire, held peace talks in Bucharest, Romania, which led in August 1913 to the signing of the Treaty of Bucharest, ending their war. In September 1913, the Treaty of Constantinople was signed, also ending war between Bulgaria and the Ottoman Empire. As a result of these treaties, Bulgaria lost much territory it had won in the First Balkan War, including most of Macedonia and Eastern Thrace. It also ceded Southern Dobruja to Romania. Bulgaria did retain a portion of Macedonia and Western Thrace, including an outlet to the Aegean Sea. Bulgaria's participation in the 2 Balkan Wars netted her a 16% gain in territory. By contrast, the victors in both Balkan Wars made much larger gains. Montenegro at 62%, Greece 68%, and Serbia nearly 100%. Romania gained 5%. However, the Ottoman Empire lost nearly all of Romania, retaining only Eastern Thrace.